that, go.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Enlightened Path with Kat. I want to thank all those that are stopping in for the first time to check out the show, and thank you very much to those that are coming back and viewing it for repeated times. I know there are a few of you that have watched before. First, I want to tell you a little bit about where I'm coming from, and that's the Enlightened Path Holistic Center up in Pottstown. It's 1494 North Charlotte Street. So if anybody's familiar with the Sunflower Cafe, we're right next door to them. If you haven't been out to the center, stop out. We've got a lot to offer. We have a lot of different services going on every day. We also have gifts, supplies. Christmas is coming, so start thinking about that. We've got some great unique gift ideas, gift certificates for those that are hard to shop for. And it's a lot of items that are locally made. So we do support a lot of local artists. We have a lot of local jewelry, candles, aromatherapy items, knickknacks, wall hangings. I just got some new items in that are amazing. They're hand-carved wooden wands. They also come with stands, and they're beautiful. If you take a look at our Facebook page, you can see the items on there. You just look up the Enlightened Path on Facebook. You can also check out our website, and that's enlightenedpath-hc.com. And that also has a link to our events page, which will take you to all the different things that we have going on as far as our services, our special events, workshops, classes. Always a lot of stuff going on. I have different people there every day, and they're offering different services. We have, as far as the healing things go, we have massage, reflexology, Reiki, pranic healing, a lot of different things in that level. We also have a lot of different readings. We have palm readings, tarot readings, crystal readings, psychic medium readings. Occasionally I have a numerologist that comes in and does the numerology readings. A lot of different events. They'll all be listed on the Facebook page. So those are like the regular events that we have. We have belly dancing class. We call it Goddess Dance because it's a little more freestyle. That's every Wednesday night. Tuesday evenings we have the Twin Heart Meditation, which is a world healing, world peace meditation that we do. So kind of sends out the energy to the world, but we also take some of that in for ourselves. So it's a very relaxing, very rejuvenating at the same time meditation. That's every Tuesday evening. We have a guided meditation Monday mornings, and I'll soon be adding a Saturday morning one on as well. That's a guided meditation where we do a few minutes of exercising to open up the chakras, and then we'll go into a guided meditation where I'll take you on a journey, and it's a different journey every week, and we'll talk a little bit about what your journey was once we come back. That's also a very insightful and relaxing meditation. We have once a month we have a drum circle, which is awesome. We've got a great group that comes out, and it's building. It's getting. It seems to be bringing new people in every month. Some of the older people come back, and then we have new people coming in. Excuse me, a little dry today. That is once a month on a Thursday evening closest to the full moon. It's happening this week. So we are doing that one this Thursday. It's from 7 to 8. And again, that's just once a month. So take advantage of that and stop out. Once a month, we also have a movie night. We had a little issue with timing on this month, so we will not be having it this month, but we'll be having it early next month, and that's usually on a Friday evening. It's a fundraiser for a local rescue farm. We do what we can to help them out to get them some food and supplies that are needed to take care of the animals. They do take in quite a few, and it is quite an expense. And then we also, once a month, are doing open mic night. And I don't have a date scheduled for the next one yet, but that'll be up soon on Facebook. Again, that'll probably be early next month. And we will be adding karaoke onto the next one, so this one's going to be a lot of fun. And the open mic is pretty much whatever you like to do as far as a gift to share. We have some will come in with guitar, some sing, some have poetry, then there's comedy, and again, we'll be adding the karaoke. There'll be storytelling, whatever works for you, whatever gift you'd like to share. We also have, once a month, we do a night reading. For those of you that can't get out for the daytime readings, we do offer that. That's going to be on Monday the 18th, and that's from 6 to 9. We'll have the tarot readings, palm readings, and the psychic medium readings available. You can just give us a call or message us, and we can get an appointment set up for you. Also, once a month, on the third Sunday of each month, I have a Reiki share. And for anybody that practices Reiki, whether it's level 1, 2, or masters, it's open to everybody. And I'd love to have you stop out and share some Reiki with us. It's a great way to learn. If we're learning from each other, no matter what level you are, even if you're master, you're still learning new ways from the new people. And we're also teaching each other. We also get to receive as well as give, so a lot of times us Reiki practitioners tend to forget that we need some too. So that's, again, the 17th is from 1 to 3 and open to any level Reiki practitioner. So stop out and show us what you're doing. Right after that at 3:30 on that day, we have our harmonic visualization. A gentleman comes in with all these different instruments. He has didgeridoos, drums, tuning bowls, flutes, you name it. All have different vibrations, and we'll be in a meditative state, and he will go through over each one of us with each instrument, and the different vibrations are taken into the body, and they all have different healing qualities, and it's amazing. It's an amazing meditation. At the same time, I'll be sending out Reiki, so you'll be getting the sound vibration as well as the Reiki, as well as the wonderful sounds that you're going to hear. We've done it numerous times, and it's always been great every time that we've done it. We have a new thing that we're going to be starting. I'm hoping that this is going to be another once a month event, but this will be the first time we'll be having it. And this is just for the girls. Sorry, guys. This is a new game that we're going to be having. I just discovered it, and I've played it and absolutely loved it. It's called Go Goddess, and it's a game that a few girls get together, and it's very insightful, very inspirational. It helps us get in touch with ourselves a little bit as far as learning about how our past has affected us, learning the way we relate to other people. We get to share information with each other, and it's a lot of fun. So it's a great game. I was really impressed with it. It works with the chakras, so it's also a very spiritual game, and it's just beautiful. So check out the information on the Facebook page for that. We'll be doing that again on the 22nd. It's a Friday evening, and it'll be from 6:30. I have it scheduled from 6:30 to 9, but something tells me we're going to go a little longer than that. We'll also have some snacks. If you want to bring a snack or bring a drink to share, feel free. You do have to pre-register because there is limited space as to how many we can have playing the game. I only have one set so far, although I'm working on getting a couple more sets so we can have a larger group playing. Then we have another game, which is one that we have had at the center a number of times, and that's called The Wish. That's going to be on Saturday the 23rd from 1 to 3. That is an amazing game about manifesting and about learning what's blocking you from manifesting. And again, every time we've had that at the center, it's been amazing. It never ceases to astonish me at the things that come out in these games. And then on the 24th, I have a chakra workshop from 11 to 4. It's a very detailed workshop. It's not just the basics of the chakras. A lot of people are familiar with the basics. This workshop is going to take you very in-depth to a lot of information on what they affect, what can affect them, ways to tell which chakras are out of alignment, how to get them back in alignment, even the stages of development in our lives as to where each one, like what age each chakra starts to develop and where they're at their most vulnerable for being affected. It's a great workshop for anybody that does any kind of healing work, whether you're doing Reiki, pranic, whether you're doing massage, or if you just want to work on yourself. You don't have to be any, certified energy worker to be working with the chakras. That's something that's open to anybody, but it's a great enhancement to have that knowledge if you are in that line of work. So those are some of the special events that we have coming up. Again, if you like the Enlightened Path on Facebook, you'll keep up to date on all the events that are going on. Or if you just want to hop on there and, see what we've got going, feel free to give me a call out at the center if you have any questions on any, or if you'd like to register for any of them or set up any appointment with any of our readers or with myself. You can reach me at 484-624-8095. That's the center's number. Or you can message me on Facebook or message me at our email address. All that's listed on the Facebook page and on the website. So you can reach me through any of that. And if you have any questions on any of the episodes we do on the radio show, again, feel free to stop out, give me a call or message me, and I'm happy to share the information with you. So today, what we're going to talk about is messages. I want to talk about how we get our messages, where they're coming from, why we're getting them. And I'm not talking about doing readings. I'm not talking about the psychic medium readings or the tarot card readings. I'm talking about the everyday messages that we're all receiving. Whether it's that we're asking for, guidance on something, we're asking for questions to be answered, or if they're just being sent to us. There's so many different ways that we receive messages, so many different places that we're receiving them from. Sometimes we're getting them in dreams. Sometimes it's from animals or from nature. Messages are coming from our higher self, from our subconscious. Messages are coming from our angels and our guides. They come in ways that we're not always paying attention to. We're not always open to. Sometimes we're asking questions. We're specifically asking for answers to things, and we're being given the answers, but we're not paying attention. We're not noticing them when they're coming through. So I think if we're a little more aware of where we're getting them, how we can receive them, how we can ask for them, I think it's going to help us in our growth. I think one of the biggest things that people think about when they're thinking about messages are dreams. We can ask for more information. We can ask our guides or our higher self or whatever it is that you turn to. We can ask for them to come through our dreams and bring us answers, to bring us clarification, to bring us knowledge, whatever it is that we're looking for. Before you go to sleep at night, you just put it out there and ask your guides, ask your higher self, ask your angels, whoever it is that you're working with. If you have a specific question or a dilemma or an issue that you're working through and you're looking for some extra help and guidance, just ask them. Ask them to bring it through in a dream. But you have to know what you're looking for. You have to be ready when you wake up in the morning to write it down right away. So keep a journal next to your bed. We've all had dreams where they've been so vivid and we remember them. But then as soon as, we wake up, we get on with our day, and half an hour later, we don't remember what it was that we dreamed. It was so clear when we first woke up, but for some reason it's gone so quickly. So keep a journal, even if it's just a piece of paper to write some key words down. Write it down as soon as you wake up. Things that you want to keep in mind about your dreams are colors, feelings, emotions. You want to remember symbols or any themes if there was a certain animal that was in the dream, if there was a certain person that was in the dream. If you were in a landscape, what was it? Was it really thick wooded landscape? Was it rolling hills? Was it a desert? Colors, were there a lot of different colors in there? Were there one specific color? Did anything stand out? What feelings did it bring to you? What emotions did it bring to you? Did it make you feel fear? Did it make you feel strong? Did it make you feel safe? These are the different things that you want to write down as soon as you wake up. The emotions that you felt, the colors that you saw, anything that stood out as far as anything unusual. Sometimes we're lucky enough to remember the whole story of the dream, and sometimes it's just little clips. But if you write them down right away and then go back later and look at it, and then if you need to, you can there's different books out there. This is just one of the ones that I have at the center. It's not one that's for sale, but anybody's welcome to borrow. It's more of like our library book. I do have a little library section. But there's a lot of different books out there on interpreting your dreams. There's also so many different ways to Google it. There's an answer to everything on Google, right? But look up the symbols, look up what the animals meant, look up what the colors meant, and keep a log. Notice if there's any kind of a pattern or any type of a theme that's going on. If it wasn't about a certain question that you asked, if it's just repeated dreams that you're having, write them down. Pay attention to what was going on in your life at the time you were having the dream. Was there a problem that you were dealing with? Was there a situation that you were going through? Was there somebody in your life that was giving you an issue or that you were concerned about? Whatever specific was going on in your life at that moment, that dream could be giving you an insight to that problem. It could be giving you guidance. It could be giving you a warning, something to watch out for. A lot of times the dreams are about ourselves, something that we need to be aware of about ourselves, even though you're seeing other people. It could be traits in that other person that is relevant in yourself. So there's a lot of information out there on interpreting your dreams, but you have to have the record of what your dream was before you can even look it up. So always make sure you write it down right away. Another thing that we can have happen is we see a lot of repeated colors, whether it's in our dreams, in our daily travels, watching TV, or a color that we're drawn to. Even colors have significance. If every time you turn around, the color orange is jumping out at you, or maybe it's green that's jumping out at you, that could be your guides, your universe, your higher self, trying to give you a message about something that's going on with you. The different colors represent the different chakras. So it could be something that's going on physically or emotionally within you. If you're seeing a lot of orange around you, or you're dreaming with the color orange, that would be your sacral chakra, and that could be about family, relationships. If you're seeing a lot of blue, that's your throat chakra. That would be communication. Maybe you're not speaking up enough, or maybe you're speaking out too much and you need to calm it down. Pay attention to what the colors are, what the shades are. Is it a light blue? Is it a dark blue? Is it a bright red? Is it a brownish red? Pay attention to what the colors are, and again, write them down. Keep a log of the colors. If they're standing out to you, if you're seeing it over and over again, there's a reason. There's a reason why your attention is being drawn to those colors. Another thing that you want to take and pay attention to are numbers. We have times when you might look at the clock and repeatedly you're seeing 4:44 or 3:33 or 11:11 is always a big one. Maybe you're driving down the road and a truck goes by and they've got big numbers on the side of the truck, and it's the same number that you saw on the clock this morning. You turn the computer on and the first thing that pops up has that same number on it. You're looking at a book and that page has that same number on it. If those numbers are jumping out repeatedly, it's not a coincidence. There's messages that are within numbers. There's angel numbers. There's wish numbers. Again, there's books out there, a lot of books on colors. This is one that I have. This one we do have for sale at the center. This one covers colors and numbers. It's a great handy little book to have because it does cover them both. Maybe you're more interested in the numerology part of it. I have this great little numerology Bible. It's a little smaller than some of the other ones that we have, but it has a lot of information on it. It's a little, they call it the Little Giant Encyclopedia. So it's a great little book and has a lot of number information on it, a lot of number combinations. But there are a lot of messages behind numbers. And again, if you don't want the books, you don't want to have to keep turning to those, you can always Google them and find out what the meaning behind those numbers are. But again, that's messages that are coming through to you, something that you need to be aware of, or, something that they're either warning you about, or again, maybe you're asking for information. And these are coming up, but you're not seeing it as the answer to your questions because you're not aware of it. So keep a journal. Keep a journal of the numbers that you keep seeing. Pay attention, the same as with the dreams. If there's something going on in your life at that time and these numbers are coming up, maybe you keep finding yourself in a bad relationship. And each time the relationship gets bad, you start seeing these different numbers popping up, but it's the same ones all the time. You get out of that relationship, you get into another relationship, that one starts going bad, you start seeing the same numbers again. It means something. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to what's going on in your life and what's happening around you at that time. The colors, the numbers, the dreams. Another way that a lot of messages come through to us are through animals and through nature. And I think one of the biggest ones that people do pay attention to are the animal ones. And again, there are some great books out there. I have this copy at the center that is more for people to use. I have it on the coffee table, and people are welcome to use it. I use it all the time. There's different messages behind all the different animals. There's a little pocket guide that's great to have. It's the same version of the big book, but big book's not going to fit in your purse, so we like to have a little handy book to carry around. And this is great for the little quick information, and this is more detailed if you want to go back later and look up more. But we do get a lot of messages from our guides. We have animal guides that want to work with us. They bring us certain energies, certain strengths that we need at that time. If we're going through a period in our life where maybe we're having a tough time, maybe we're a little drained and we need a little energy, or maybe we're going through a time where we're dealing with fear and we need courage, there may be a certain animal that comes in and works with us to bring us courage. You think of courage, you think of the lion. Maybe the lion's going to come along and work with you to give you extra courage. Sometimes they're just bringing us messages, again, to be wary of, things that we need to pay attention to in our lives. Maybe there's somebody that's going behind our back and they're, trying to cause us problems. So our animal guides or our angels and guides will send us messages through animals to let us know that something's going on. Or maybe we're worried about financial issues to where our life's going, so maybe they'll send us messages letting us know everything's going to be fine. And again, it's write it down. Keep a journal when you're seeing different things. And this isn't, when we're getting messages from the animals, this isn't like seeing a cardinal land in your front yard and that's, a regular occurrence, or maybe a cat runs across the road. That's when we're getting messages from the animals, they're going to stand out or they're going to be repeated. It's going to be something unusual. You're going to see them in a way or in a place that you would not normally see them, or they're going to show themselves over and over again in different ways. And it doesn't have to be the actual animal itself. Some of the animals that want to come to us, we're not going to see them out in nature, especially in our area. Maybe they're from a different area, but they're going to show us in a different way. Again, like a truck drives by and the logo on the side of their truck is this specific animal. Take the fox. That's always a good one to use. Maybe we do see a fox run across the road or run up a hill alongside of us as we're driving down the road, or running through a field as we're going by. Wouldn't think anything of it. But then a couple minutes later, a truck drives by and the logo on the side is a fox. Now maybe we start to pay a little more attention to it. Then we turn the radio on and a song comes on about being foxy. Now we're really starting to pay attention. Now, if you need clarification, you can ask them to show you, show me one more time. But I think after 3 different ways, that should probably be enough to know that they're trying to get some information to you that's related to the fox. So then we would go to our books and we would look up, okay, what's the message of the fox? What's the information that the fox brings to us? What's the energy that the fox brings to us? Fox is about shape-shifting. Fox is about blending in. It's about being comfortable in and out of your comfort zone. Fox is playful. Maybe you need to be a little more playful. One of the ones that works with me a lot is the crow. I love the energy of the crow. And people think of the crow as annoying and loud. And if you really look into what the crow means, the crow is extremely intelligent. The crow is about healing. The crow has a great vocabulary. They have more words in their language than most birds do as far as communicating with each other. They work as a team. They never work alone. And they're just amazing. If you look into each of the animals as they come up for you, you'd be amazed at what some of them mean and what some of the messages are. You also want to look at nature. Nature comes to us with a lot of different information as well. Sometimes it's seeing, again, repeated patterns and pictures. Repeated plants come up in different ways. There's also books for dealing with nature. This is one that we have at the center too. This one we do have for sale. It's an amazing book with a lot of information in it. Even just looking at weather, looking at clouds, looking at the sun, the rain. Look at the pictures that we see in the sky, the clouds. How many times do we look up and, you see them online too. You see them on Facebook. You see them on the different websites. You see an angel in the sky made out of clouds. Or maybe you see an animal. Maybe you see a whale or a cat or, there's usually some kind of a message that's coming through to you with that. If you're seeing something, look up what the information on that particular item is. Find out, what does that tree mean? If you're constantly seeing the same tree, but it's really standing out to you for some reason, it's really getting your attention, look it up, see what it means. There's different, again, strengths in different trees, different stones, crystals. Look at all the different energies that are in the different crystals. That falls in with the messages from nature. Maybe you just stumble upon a crystal as you're walking outside. It's just laying there. Maybe it's just a quartz, but there may be a message in there for you. If you're walking around a shop that sells crystals, if any of you have ever been out to Bays Rocks, I think it's Bechtelsville, but it's out past the Walmart on 100. You walk into that place and the energy is amazing. Any crystal that you could possibly want is somewhere in that shop. They've got crystals upon crystals. And when you go into a place like that, it can be overwhelming because there is so much to look at. But if you find yourself drawn to a certain crystal, that you're drawn, this one bin just stands out amongst all of the other ones, that you need to look at this crystal, you need to hold that crystal. There's a message in there. There's an energy that you need in that crystal. Now, sometimes these messages are coming through to us without us asking for them. Those, again, are our guides working with us, watching out for us, teaching us, keeping us on our toes, letting us know that, again, we need to pay attention to something that's going on around us that we've got blinders onto, something that's going to protect us, or something that's going to assist us in our path. But we can also ask for these things. You can ask your angel guides, your animal guides. Ask them to bring messages to you. Ask them to answer certain questions for you. If you have a specific animal that you like to work with, you can ask them to send you messages, whether it be them showing up themselves, whether it's the animal coming to you in dreams. Meditation. That's another great way to get messages. When we go into a meditation, whether it's a guided meditation or one that you're taking yourself through, one that you're just sitting in quiet, that's a wonderful time to ask your angels or your animal guides or your spirit guides to come in and work with you. Anytime you're going through a dilemma in your life or a stressful time, a scary time, stop, take a breath, quiet your mind down, and ask for guidance. Ask for strength. Whatever it is that you feel like you need, you can go to them and ask them to help you. But you have to pay attention. You have to be aware of what they're sending you. There's also other books that you can go to. This is another one that we have. This is dealing with all the different animals, angels, and our ancestors, people that have walked before us. Again, information to help on how to talk to them, how to listen to them. That was another one I didn't mention, our ancestors. We work with our guides, we work with our animals, we work with our angels, but there's also our ancestors, loved ones also that have passed on. Anybody that has crossed over to the other side can send us messages. How many times have you been walking down the road and, or even at home, and you find you're constantly finding a penny in places that they really shouldn't be? Places nobody's been there. Maybe it's your drawer. Every time you open your drawer, there's a penny in there. You take it out and you put it somewhere. Nobody else is going in your drawer, but the next time you open it, there's another penny in there. You're walking down the street, and maybe it's dimes or nickels, but it's always the same thing. You're always finding dimes. You're always finding nickels. There's usually somebody is sending you that for a reason. There's a message that they're trying to get through to you. Maybe it's the numbers. Maybe it's the 1, maybe it's the 5, maybe it's the 10. Think about it. Think about who might be sending it to you. Who do you think about when you see it? Who's the first person that comes to your mind? Sometimes we find feathers in places that, they normally wouldn't be. We see little items that remind us specifically of somebody that we've lost. And they're showing up, again, in places that they normally wouldn't show up. And repeatedly. Stop and realize that that's that loved one sending you a message. I have recently lost a little fur baby. She was been with me for probably about 16 years, and she was a big part of my life. She was a partner. She was with me all the time. As I'd get home from work and she'd be there waiting for me. And although she's going to be very much missed, I know that she's always going to be around me, and I know that she's always going to have messages for me. And I do ask her, the same as I ask my guides and any other animal guides that I work with, the angel guides. If I'm dealing with something that I'm looking for an answer, I'll ask either one of them specifically if I know it's in their area, or if I'm not sure who it is, I'll just ask, hey, anybody that can help me with this, anybody that's open, give me a hint here. But the other day, I was kind of looking for a little comfort, and I kind of asked my lost fur baby to kind of reach out to me and just let me know that she's around. And I walked into my room, and I don't know, there was nothing else around that would have made this noise. I had nothing going in the room. There was no radio on. There was nothing going on anywhere else in the house that would have made this noise. But she had a very distinctive purr, and I heard it. I'm sitting there, and I'm hearing the purr. And it could have been any other noise that was made, but because I'd asked for the comfort, something soft, something comfortable, I think that's why the purring was sent, because that was always a comfort to me. Anytime that I had something stressful going on and she'd be curled up on my lap and I'd be petting her, I would always find that purring noise was very comforting. Now, she could have come in meowing or, scratching. That wouldn't have been a comfort. That would have just been, hey, okay, I know she's there. But she specifically left that noise. That was what I heard. So that was a comfort. I think, too, when we lose people, we tend to miss them, and we get lost when we're not feeling them around us. And just by asking them to let us know that they're there, that's not enough. I mean, you can ask and ask and ask, but if you're not paying attention and you're not open to it, then they can send all the messages in the world and we're not going to hear them. We're not going to know. So you really have to pay attention. You really have to be aware of anything that's not normal that's going on. I mean, like I said, if you're just going down and an animal runs in front of you, that means nothing. But when it's repeated, then you know that there's a message there. So when you're asking your loved ones to reach out to you and send you messages, you can ask them to send it, repeatedly so that you get it. They understand that we're not always paying attention. We're not always, as smart or as open as we'd like to be. So we can be a little thick-headed sometimes, and they get that. So ask them to send it repeatedly. Keep a journal, pay attention, and also sometimes when we are going through crisis in our life or we're going through a rough time, I mentioned earlier this wasn't really about doing readings, the card readings or the psychic medium readings or any of those. It's not about doing them. But if you're going through an issue, a crisis, sometimes where you're looking for a little extra guidance, you find yourself directed to or drawn to a certain reader. And again, that, I believe, is our guides giving us a little push, giving us a little guidance, because maybe if you're not open to getting the messages yourself, or you're not paying attention enough to get the message yourself, maybe you do need to get them through somebody else. Maybe you do need to hear it from somebody who knows nothing about the situation to kind of validate it to you. And I think if you ask for assistance in finding the right person, that person just shows up. Either you'll see an advertisement come up, or somebody will mention, hey, have you seen so-and-so yet? They give great readings. Go check them out. And this isn't about me advertising the readings at the center. This is saying for anywhere, wherever it is that you're comfortable going to, if you're feeling driven to go to a certain reader, there's a reason. Pay attention and go. They've got messages for you. If you can't get them yourself, don't be afraid to go to somebody who can get them for you. You may want to do your homework a little bit and, check them out. Make sure that you're not going to, some boardwalk reader or somebody that's doing a $5 5-minute reading. That's usually not good. But if they come up in conversation, or you're just looking online and you're thinking about going to see one, and all of a sudden one shows up, think about it. It might be a sign for you to go out and to get the information from somebody else. It also doesn't hurt to ask friends. If you're looking for guidance and you're looking for messages, and you're asking your angels, you're asking your guides to send you messages and you don't think you're getting them, ask a friend to help you out. Ask them to maybe see if they can pick up anything. Maybe if you have them ask you questions, it might trigger some things that you weren't thinking about. Maybe write a list down for yourself. Write a list of all the different things that we talked about here, your dreams, colors that are coming up repeatedly, numbers that are coming up repeatedly, animals that seem to keep jumping into your path in one way or another. Again, whether it's you're seeing them on TV, or you're seeing them in real life, or you're just seeing the word. Maybe you're just seeing the word of an animal. If it's showing up repeatedly, there's a reason. So go through this checklist and ask yourself, is there anything on here that's been showing up unusually or repeatedly? Do some research. Feel free to contact me at the center if there's a specific item or animal or dream or something that you're having a question on. I may not know the answer, but maybe I can direct you to somebody that does, or maybe I can help you research it and find out what that might mean. I'm always happy to help and try to get you the information that you're looking for. I think knowledge is very important, and the more we reach out for it and the more we learn about ourselves, the better we become, the stronger we become, and the better we are to help other people. So I think being open to the messages like that help us grow. They help keep us protected. They help keep us strong. They help keep us open. So please, if you have any questions on any of them, drop me a message on Facebook. Call me. Stop in. I'm always, welcome to help. Or happy to help. How about you, Lisa? Do you just give her a minute to get her sound on here so she can join me for a minute?
Hello.
Hello. Just real quick, have you ever had anything like really stand out for you that you just knew was a message that was coming from somebody that crossed over or from your guides? Something that kind of like maybe you didn't pay attention at first, and then all of a sudden it just kind of smacked you in the back of the head like a 2x4?
Well, I've been getting something lately that, and I was thinking about it because I was listening out there. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. However, I've had this weird thing happening to me, and I know lots of other people have had it, but 11/11.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know it's something because it happens so much. Like out of the blue, I won't even be thinking about anything, and then all of a sudden, what time is it? oh, 11, I'll cook them. Look at this, it's 11:11. It's some variation of it. But then I got this email the other day about from Global Coherence, something like that. And they had this article about people that see the 11:11, that it's a sign of it's getting closer to where the earth is going to be changing, and we need to essentially get our stuff together because there's going to need to be leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I tell you, it struck me.
No, that's actually that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're seeing a repeated number, unusual times, and it's not just once or twice. It's repeated.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
and that number has been coming up a lot for a lot of people, and it's not just because yesterday was 11. It wasn't.
It was,
wasn't it?
I have no idea. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, because today
and it's
is
been
11.
happening for a few years now.
Yeah, but today's 11, 12, 13. 'cause
Oh,
they
is
were
it
making-
really?
yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, they
oh,
say
that's
that
pretty
won't
cool.
happen again. Next year we'll have 12, 13, 14, but other than that it won't happen again for like 100 years or
Oh,
something.
that's
like
kind of
that.
cool.
So yeah, that's really neat. But the 11:11 has been showing up for a lot of people, and I always thought it was like the wish number or the manifesting number. That it, like you said, it is time that things are happening. It's a time of change. And
Right.
it's time to make things happen. So that falls into
Right.
what you were saying about, there
And that was
being
the
a change coming.
right. And that was the very first thing that had ever felt like it was true. I know that sounds really weird, but I would mention it to other people about 11:11, and they would say, "Oh, it's this and that," and it just didn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, it's just me, because it didn't resonate at all. I had no reaction whatsoever, because I was really hoping for an explanation.
Well, I think the fact that so many people are seeing that same repeated number over and over
Exactly.
again would,
There's some significance to
Yep.
it. Yeah.
their message is coming through with that.
Yeah.
I know one bizarre thing, and I think I talked about this on one of the other shows. I can't remember which one. I might have just been talking about animal messages, but I had one where a toad was coming, and it happened in a way that was totally unusual. I mean, you don't think anything of just seeing a toad somewhere.
Right.
But when it shows up inside, then you know there's something going on. I was at work. It was at the center, and I wasn't even open yet. It was in the morning, and the door was closed. A friend had come in, and they were standing at the counter to drop some stuff off for me. And I was sitting at my desk behind the counter, and I turned around to talk to them, and there behind the counter on the ground was a toad, just sitting there, a live toad. And I looked at the friend, and I'm like, "Did you bring that in here?" And bring what? And they looked over, and they're like, "No." And there's only one door in to the center, and it's a pretty heavy door. I really think that if this toad would have hopped in with them, probably would have seen it, coming in with you.
Like, what are the chances you didn't step on it?
Right. And I think it might have been in there for a little while, because I went to pick it up, and it didn't jump, it didn't hop away. It was perfectly calm when I picked it up, but I noticed it had a little dust bunnies wrapped around its one leg. So it must have been in a corner and picked them up somewhere. So I took it in the bathroom, cleaned it off, and again, it was quite content for me to hold it. And I just, knew it. I had to let it go. I couldn't, keep it inside. I didn't have a tank or anything to keep it in. So I didn't want to just let it go because it was in the parking lot. I didn't want it to get squished. So there's a little stream that runs off to the side of the building. So I took it over there, and I let it go over by the stream. Well, about a week or so later, I had an evening event going on that we were done at maybe 8 o'clock or so, 8:30, and everybody had left. I went to go leave, and sitting there outside the door, this time it was outside, was the toad. Was it the same toad? I couldn't tell you for sure, but I'm going to guess it probably was. But it was sitting on the mat, facing the door, looking in. And I was really surprised to see it again. I thought, okay, so he must have made the trek back over, picked him up, took him back over to the creek, put him back there again. The very next night, I had another evening event going on. Go to walk out with somebody else that was there, and there's the toad sitting there again. So me and the other girl walked out, and I had told her the story about it, so she kind of knew what was going on with the toad, and I'm like, all right, he's going to keep coming back over here. He obviously wants to be here for whatever reason. I'm going to stick him under one of the plants that were in front of the window. So I stuck him under the hosta plant, walked over, talked to her for a little bit, turned around to leave, and there he was back in front of the door again, this time staring at me instead of inside the door. So I still hadn't really looked up what the message of the toad was, and now I'm thinking, okay, I really need to know what this is because he's obviously trying to tell me something. So I did start looking into the messages of the toad, and it was kind of about jumping forward, moving ahead with what I was doing, and there were some other messages that were very significant to what was going on in my life at the moment, so it was really cool. And then about 2, maybe 3 weeks later, after I got the message and I realized what it was, I didn't see the toad. It was funny. It didn't show up again. So I think once we get the message, they kind of go away. I got it. So 2-3 weeks later, I had a different event going on at the center, and there were 2 kind of different meanings to the toad, and the one really fit what was going on with me. The other one was kind of not really. But this night, the event that I was having kind of went with what the second meaning was. Well, I put the toad out of my mind. I wasn't really thinking about it anymore. I thought I got the message, he was gone, wasn't showing up. And during this event, it was a pretty good crowd that was there. I had like maybe 13 to 15 people there. A few of them knew about my toad story. I kind of put it on Facebook, and I shared it on the radio show, and I had talked to a few people about it, so they knew about it. And I'm inside talking to a good group of people that were in there, and we kind of broken off into little groups, and I was talking to one, and a few of them had gone outside, smoke break, I guess, and I heard them come in, and I heard the one say to the other person, should we tell her about the toad or not? And I looked up and I said, is he dead? And they looked at me and they're like, yeah, I think so. They said he was out front the door, and it looked like he'd either been hit by the door or somebody had stepped on it, but he must have been outside the door. So they picked him up and put him off to the side because they weren't sure what to do with him. And I couldn't really do anything until everybody was gone, so I waited until everybody was left, and I had picked him up before everybody left and put him back under the plant that I put him under before. And I mean, when I picked him up, it was pretty obviously gone. And I mean, I was sad, I was panicked. I'm like, does this mean that whatever the message I got before, that, you know, what's the significance of him showing back up and being dead? I was in a panic. And somebody said, don't put the significance in the fact that he's dead, because that was an accident. That wasn't meant to happen. Look at the fact that he wanted to be here. There was something about your energy that he enjoys, and he wanted to be here. So I took a little solace in that. But I stuck him under the plant. Came back out after everybody had left, and I was all ready to bury him. The only thing I had was a plastic spoon, so I don't know what I planned to do with this plastic spoon, but I went out with the spoon, all ready to bury him, reached under the plant, and he wasn't there. And I know I put him here. He couldn't have gone anywhere. I looked a little further around the plant, thought maybe I just had the spot wrong where I put him. And up there he was, a little in a different spot. Didn't think that's where I left him, but there he was. So I picked him up, and he moved. So he wasn't dead. Now, 3 of us swore he was dead because he wasn't moving, but okay. So I let go of the fear of him being dead. I was just afraid that that was a bad message. When I let that go, I mean, he wasn't dead. And I left him under there and came back the next day. He was gone. I'm not sure, haven't seen him since, so I'm guessing he either made dinner for somebody or crawled off and had a hopefully peaceful demise. But the second message that was about the frog was very fitting for that night's event. And that was just one of my message aha moments. You know, that's just an example of how when things happen out of the ordinary and they happen repeatedly, pay attention to them. So that pretty much brings our show to a close. Kind of went over a little bit, sorry about that. But again, if you have any questions on any repeated events that you've been paying attention to, and you're not sure, and you can't find the answers, just give me a call and message me. I'd be happy to see what I can find out for you. So that's the end of our show, but I would like to invite you to stay tuned for some of the other great shows that are on after ours. This is the Paranormal Tuesday, so they do have some great shows with some great information. Right after this is Paranormal Frequency from 5 to 6. We have Mystic Talks from 6 to 7. Heaven Talks from 7 to 8:30, and Beyond the Veil from 8:30 to 9:30. So stay tuned into those shows, and you've got your entertainment planned out for the whole evening. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Next week should be the long distance Reiki. So if you want any more details on that, just message me. We don't have a lot of time to get into that, but I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great night, have a great week, and stay at peace.
You're listening live to Paranormal Frequency on the Studio 28 radio of the PCTV network, just right outside of Philadelphia. Join your hosts Loretta and Greg the Paranormal Guy as they bring light to the truth about what's really going on out there. They use their knowledge and experience to help us